There's only one person.
Oh, go on.
And I call him Sean. That's Jay-Z. We call each other Sean.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody else could call me Sean.
He's the only person who's Sean approved.
There's not a single person that
outside of family.
That should be outside of my mother.
Okay. Just should be calling.
The hip-hop world is going crazy after 20 new lawsuits were filed against Diddy Combs just yesterday for alleged misconduct against minors. Diddy Combs has long been an industry powerhouse, and with his days as Hollywood's biggest producer slowly coming to an end, many are beginning to wonder if his alleged best friend, industry leader Jay's, had anything to do with it.
How do you feel about the situation that Diddy in?
Let's say this. Something else is going on. They searched with a warrant his premises on the West Coast, right? They searched his premises on the East Coast in Florida, right? On the same property that the premises was located that they searched in Florida, he had a second mansion. They didn't touch that one. Why not? And when they walk out of there, they got a small trash bag and they have a medium-sized cardboard box. What was it they seized that would fit into those items? I have a sneaking suspicion from my background in criminal defense that what they seized was some evidence that was very incriminating to other people. Now, after they seized the evidence, they had no probable cause to arrest him on any crime. He hasn't been indicted. They talked to him at an airport before he got on a private jet to fly to an island that has no extradition agreement with the United States. Have you heard anybody trying to prosecute him?
Not at all.
So what did they do? See, the feds are interesting. Who served the search warrant?
Homeland Security.
Now, what the hell do they have to do?
So, why exactly did the FBI raid Jay-Z's house on September 19th? And what did they find? Rumors are swirling about what the agents uncovered. And now there's talk that the FBI might be trying to keep certain details under wraps.
When you went into the studio to make this album, American Gangster, there was a buzz about you. Jay-Z's back. He's creating music.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to get involved. People that hadn't been with you for a while, like Diddy.
Yeah.
Comes to you and wants to be the executive producer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you look at him and say, man, you
can't executive produce an executive producer.
What'd you say to him? What was the
That's what I said. You can't executive producer. But he said, man, you're the greatest, all right? But even Michael Jordan had a coach.
That's what he said.
Yeah, he's great.
And you listened to him.
Yeah. What happened was, I was going in the house. I was right in front of my house. And I got this phone call from him. He was like, come by the studio. And I'm like, man, I'm looking at the door and I'm like, I could just go in the house and be done with it. You know, but I'm one of them people that believe everything happens for a reason. Right. He called me. He's never called me to come to the studio before.
Not ever in your life?
So I pull away from my house. I head over to the studio. I get there. He's playing all these lush samples and all this 70s soul music, which relates straight to the movie, because that's the backdrop for this album that I made is set against these soul samples, you know, these things that I've heard growing up. So he's playing all these records and they're amazing. And I'm like, what are you doing? He said, I'm putting the Hitman back together. You know, he got LV and Sean C, you know, his whole group. Right. And I'm like, but what are you doing all this type of music? Because it was the music that I needed. It was the exact music that, I envisioned in my mind. And he was like, man, I have nobody to give it to. You know, Biggie's not here, and I can't give these to just anybody. And I was like,
he thought somebody who had Biggie's power needed.
Yeah.
And you were the one that he thought worthy of it.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, give me all. I said, what do you do with this music? That's the best part. I said, what do you do with this music?
And what was the relevance of Big? Because you and I can talk about him, and I know a bit about him, but what was his...
Such a charismatic, charming, incredible storyteller, likable guy. He's forever loved by hip hop. That's it. It's Big. It's just the way he was. His honesty, his brutal honesty, you know, black and ugly as ever. However, I stay Coochie down to the socks. You know, like he can do that like a Richard Pryor he was in that way, where he can make fun of himself, you know, and he was just such a charismatic person. And we've had that in common for a while, but we always was competitive with each other as well.
In every way, in fashion and music.
Fashion, music. We all in the same business.
Role.
We all in the same field. So we competitive, but friendly competitors even along the way. Like when he won a fashion award, I sent him a present. So we would send each other presents and things like that. I would do stuff like I'll send him cigars and Patron on the red carpet. I make sure when he got on the red carpet, if somebody came and gave him some, fresh Cuban cigars. No, I'm not trying to show him up. Really, just really.
But you're not trying to top him in toys either, are you?
No. We more so just being competitive. Not even so. I'm better than you. Just better moves, like the execution.
In this deep dive, we'll explore rare, behind-the-scenes footage from a time when Diddy and Jay-Z didn't realize they were on camera. Back in the early 1990s, they were both rising stars in hip-hop, with their friendship and professional ties going way back. Their first major collaboration happened in 1997 when they teamed up on a track for **, No Way Out**, Diddy's debut album.
At the club, and this nurse leaned over and said, "Oh, mommy, that's you they're talking about? You saw J-Lo, mommy, what she had on? I'm fucking dying, and this lady's asking me what was J-Lo wearing?" Do you see so I may come across as cantankerous with this thing. It's been cantankerous.
Y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. The game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else to us. Black excellence. Right.
Only 2 years later, both Jay-Z and Diddy were caught up in major legal troubles, each facing the threat of jail time. Jay-Z was under investigation for allegedly stabbing music producer Lance Rivera, while Diddy was implicated in a shooting incident tied to a suspected murder. In a surprising twist, Diddy was reportedly caught with the stolen gun used in the shooting as he attempted to escape the scene. Despite physical evidence and witness accounts linking both Diddy and Jay-Z to these incidents, neither was ever arrested.
An 18-year-old kid, just wanting to do nothing other than make my mother proud and make Belize proud and do what all of us want to do, be recognized for our talent and take over the world. I was defending him, and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, and he contributed. He pretty much sent me to prison. So that is the context by which you must always describe that relationship. Yes, I forgave, I moved on, but let us not pretend as if I was in Miami for Thanksgiving and Christmas and that I saw a birthday cake. Went again to do a charity event for impoverished youth in London. So let us not lose sight of what the cold hard facts are. This was not someone who I vacationed with and who he and I enjoyed this great intimate relationship of brotherhood. This is someone who destroyed my life and who I forgave and who I moved on, and for the better interest of Belize, because he was in a position at that time to give scholarships and to maybe invest. I would not deny attempting to bring the investment to Belize and to bring the contributions to education to Belize, but don't distort it as if he and I were bombali. This is someone that destroyed my life, but do I take any joy or any satisfaction with what he is going through? Absolutely not. I am different than maybe other people. No one needs to fail for me to succeed. No one needs to suffer for me.
At the height of your professional relationship, or thereafter through the reconciliation, when he was an instrumental part of promoting you through Revolt Media, were you aware of these freak-off events, and were you aware of them? Did you have any participation in them?
Oh my goodness, Jules Vasquez. Jules Vasquez.
Were you aware of that?
Jules Vasquez.
Were you aware of the freak-offs?
So I had nothing to do with Sean Combs' personal life, no interaction. That level, everything was strictly on a professional level.
Rapper Shine Barrow ultimately took the fall for Diddy's alleged crime, receiving a 10-year prison sentence for his supposed role in the shooting. Over the years, Shine has claimed that Diddy set him up, using his connections to avoid accountability. This pattern of elite influence is nothing new in the industry. Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyonce have all faced legal issues over the years, sometimes with direct physical evidence linking them to alleged crimes. Yet, they were never formally charged until now, it seems, as investigations begin to resurface.
Beyonce, whew, you changed my life. You sang that gospel medley, and the way you made me feel, I was like, I want to make people feel this way with my music. So thank you so much. I love you. God bless y'all. We got a fucking Grammy!
Sha Diddy and Jay-Z have long been seen as the godfathers of hip-hop. For years, if you wanted to make it big in music, getting approval from Jay-Z or Diddy was almost essential. Fans started to catch onto this influence when they noticed that no matter the genre, nearly every celebrity thanked Beyonce during award speeches, hinting at the power these three hold in the industry.
A white party, although several of these events occurred at auditions. Many times, especially young people wanting to break into the industry, were coerced into this type of conduct. In the promise of being made a star, or in the promise of having Sean Combs listen to their tape or even let them read for Sean Combs. You should know that some of this behavior occurred at well-known venues in New York City. Some of this behavior occurred at private residences of people that we all know. Some of this behavior occurred at hotels that we're all familiar with. You should know that more than 55% of the victims filed reported this conduct to either the authorities, that is the police, or to hospitals. We're in the process of collecting with our team assistants, medical records, reports that were made to the authorities, and I've already said that some of the individuals in this group did in fact talk to the FBI.
Right. Got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Right. Got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
According to some online conspiracy theorists, celebrities publicly thanking Beyonce was a subtle way of acknowledging Jay-Z's influence and signaling their loyalty to him. Diddy, however, allegedly sought loyalty in a different way. Rumors suggest that he would use his connections with Jay-Z's Roc Nation and his own Bad Boy records to boost careers. But in exchange, he expected sexual favors.
There's no vindication for me because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
Cruelty-free artistry.
Right, there's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music, and that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucien Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it for all of its precious jewels. We have too many lost. The list of lost is ridiculous, and everyone knows Diddy was selected for this.
These conspiracy theories are gaining traction as witness testimonies and claims from U.S. Attorney Damon Williams suggest that Diddy used his business connections to pressure people into sex trafficking and blackmail. The most shocking allegations link Jay-Z and Diddy to the murders of Aaliyah in 2001, Tupac in 1996, and Biggie Smalls in 1997. Aaliyah was a remarkable talent, achieving double platinum status with her second album at just 16. Sadly, she died in a plane crash under suspicious circumstances shortly after releasing her third album. There were also rumors of a relationship between Aaliyah, then 19, and Jay-Z, who was nearly 31.
Opinion on the R. Kelly situation? Do you think he got railroaded, or he's where he belongs?
Yeah, I think he's where he belongs. I mean, I know Aaliyah, so I know what he did. I can't be objective about that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he definitely seemed like he needed some help.
You ever have beef with R. Kelly while you was with Aaliyah? You ever hang on to no shit or get weird? Or?
Nah, she had asked me to leave it alone completely. So she never really wanted to tell me. It was like things I'd be like, yo, she just was just leave it alone. She just wanted it left alone. So that's the thing that people would be like when Jay was doing videos with him, I was be in the video, but I'd be like, yo, what do you want me to do? And she's like, don't start nothing, just don't be in no shots with him. So I would never, you show me a picture of me in a picture with him and shit. And then when he did the record with Jay, that's why I was that was almost like one of the things where I was just like, he's out of here, Jay. I just let it go because I couldn't believe he did a project with her, with R. Kelly, knowing that he had raped my girl. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, if you look at it, like I'm not on there as an executive.
Shocking as it is, many in the industry were aware of Aaliyah's inappropriate relationship with Jay-Z, but did nothing to intervene, as Jay-Z wielded significant power. Disturbingly, Jay-Z wasn't the first to exploit Aaliyah. R. Kelly, now a convicted sex offender, allegedly married her in secret when she was just a teenager. Dame Dash, co-founder of Roc-A-Fella Records, recently spoke about Jay-Z's relationship with R. Kelly and how he enabled his abusive behavior in a podcast episode.
But do you believe hip-hop got a gay mafia?
Yes. Do I believe there's people behind the scenes that are homosexuals that are pushing buttons? Yes. And that they want you to be down with their in order to push the button for you? Absolutely. And this is part of it. You just saw one of the gay mafia members. That's who he is. That's who Puffy is. He's one of the members of the mob. He's a mafia member. But he might not be Don Carl. He's not the Godfather. You see? He's not the Godfather. He's one of the heads of the families. You see? We have different families in this big game. We got fucking, what do we have? Death Row over here. We have the different we got fucking, Arista Records and The Face. These are the fucking families in the mafia. You dig? Those record companies are like...
Several celebrities have begun speaking out about a secretive mafia operating in Hollywood, claiming that if you don't follow their rules, your career could be ruined. In a recent episode of Asterisk, The Art of Dialogue Asterisk, Lord Jamar revealed how Diddy became one of the gatekeepers in the music industry mob, using his business empire to pressure young artists into sexual acts with him.
Court fees and litigations because Jay-Z wants me broken, stopped, or under his control. And it ain't gonna happen, Sean. I'm never gonna be under your control. Never. You need to learn how to control your wife and her friends and their mouths. Cause you got Beyonce in the Beehive looking real fucking dumb right now. 5 million unfollowed, and that number's gonna go up with every image in one of those freak off tapes. And God help if anybody here how that bitch really talks about people with her, they'll start unfollowing by the tens of hundreds. Again. And they should. Because the truth is, the only reason they were following was because of the witchcraft and the spells that were being pushed out through the media. Y'all ain't fans because y'all really love them and y'all really think they're the best. You're fans because you fell for the hype. And they are hypes. I know I can sing. I've been able to do that my whole life. And they've been trying to stop me my whole career. Because see, unlike Beyonce, I'm not willing to hurt people to get famous. See, that's the part of the story that they're not telling y'all. That the more terrible you are, the more...
In a recent episode of Asterisk Uncensored Asterisk with Piers Morgan, Jaguar Wright, who was once a backup dancer for Jay-Z, discussed the allegations surrounding Diddy's arrest. She claimed that Jay-Z and Beyonce had a practice of putting people on planes after rendering them unconscious.
Jay-Z was worse than Diddy. And we're gonna go ahead and deep dive this Jay-Z and Diddy connection to show just how deep this might actually go. The one thing I can't stand is seeing these photos of Jay-Z and Diddy with Aaliyah. It makes me sick to my stomach. We know that Diddy and Jay-Z have both been friends with R. Kelly for years, and Jay-Z continued to make albums with R. Kelly after all the information came out with him and Aaliyah. And I'd say this is because Jay-Z was pretty comfortable with the fact that he knew he also wanted Aaliyah, and honestly, so did Diddy. And Aaliyah's death has never sat right with me. There are so many sketchy things around her death that just don't make sense. The fact that Aaliyah was given a substance and knocked unconscious and then was carried onto this plane that she didn't want to get on because she thought that something was wrong with it that led to her death is just crazy. There's also even more disturbing information about Aaliyah's pilot of that plane, and they said that he had just joined the program 2 days prior before the flight, and he wasn't even supposed to be the pilot on that flight.
Aaliyah was sitting in a taxi as her team and the flight crew argued nearby about whether or not to take off, and she complained of having a headache. Now, reportedly, a baggage handler nearby said that someone from her entourage gave her a pill. She took the pill, and that right after she fell into a very deep sleep. So deep, in fact, that she was carried onto the airplane still asleep.
This statement came after it was revealed that Aaliyah was allegedly unconscious when she boarded her plane. An autopsy report following her tragic crash in August 2001 indicated that both Aaliyah and her pilot had been drugged.
The federal government wanted somebody more than they want Diddy. If he has some information about some people that they would rather have other than him, he's able to get that information to them. But they gotta want it. They gotta want it. And Ashton Kutcher and him they were real tight. One time, me, him, Ashton Kutcher went to a Nets game and we met Jay-Z there. You know what I'm saying? So They were close. They was cool.
But you think Diddy would do something like that? Allow other celebrities?
Well, why would it have to be a lie? Because if he get caught in, he gonna be as truthful as possible. You understand? He's gonna give them enough information, whereas that it's gonna make him look like the choir boy. So, asking the Kushner, he has a right to be kind of alarmed if he was doing things with Diddy. Remember they used to have that group called the what do they call it? The Brat Pack, with Diddy, him, and a couple other guys was hanging out. Leonardo, one other guy too. I forgot the other guy's name. So they all might be worried.
For him to come out with that comment, I mean, that is suspect. It sounds like he's worried that Diddy might give up some information.
That's why. That's why he made that statement. To set it up. To set up the atmosphere that, yo, this guy's gonna lie on us. This guy ain't gonna tell the truth on us. But what we know is that wherever Diddy went, his tape recorders went. His camera equipment was working. He was videotaping everything. So they might have that videotape all.
Returning to the raid on Jay-Z's house on September 19th, many find it suspicious why the FBI targeted him. Since Diddy's indictment, speculation has grown about its implications for the entire music industry. Some believe that Diddy's arrest is merely a cover-up. Allegedly, the FBI is pursuing someone even bigger. Jan Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, has suggested that Diddy may cooperate with the FBI and provide information about whoever they inquire about. If that person ends up being Jay-Z, the consequences could be significant.
In Hollywood, we're probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on. That's not to say that they were necessarily even involved in any of the things that are alleged by the U.S. Attorney's Office. But if you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off sex parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And certainly if you were involved, you would get a call because they're going to want to know everything you want to know and may even want you to be a witness. I just think, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what this case, this case is going to touch and involve. And the feds have said that this remains an open investigation. There could be more charges for Diddy. There could be more charges for other people involved. And usually the way this works is once they find out other people are involved or were witnesses, they bring them in and they sort of lean on them, and it's sort of like, you're going to cooperate with us, or there's a possibility that you could face charges. So this is going to be a slow developing a case here, because we're just getting started, and I don't see how this trial begins anytime before.
In a recent episode of Asterisk, the Joe Rogan Experience Asterisk, Joe Rogan spoke with comedian Andrew Schultz about the latest allegations against Diddy, suggesting that Diddy's arrest might just be the beginning. It's been established legally that many activities at Diddy's parties were criminal, meaning if Jay-Z was aware of Diddy's actions,